And welcome. In this video, we're going to be looking at the power rule and how we can use it to find the derivative. This is a very beginner video and is not too tricky once you get the hang of it. So first of all, what is the power rule? Let's say we have the function x to the power of n and we want to find the derivative. We use the rule n times x to the power of n minus 1. In other words, to find the derivative, we bring our power, so n, out the front, so we move it out the front, and then our power we also subtract by 1. This may sound complicated, but it is not too hard once you see it in an example. So let's say we have the example x to the power of 10, and we want to find the derivative of this. So following this rule up here, we bring our power and move it out the front, so 10 comes out the front. That gives us 10, x stays the same, and then we have n minus 1. So our power minus 1, so 10 minus 1 is 9, and that's our derivative. So if f of x is equal to x to the power of 10, that means that f dash of x, or our derivative, is equal to 10x to the power of 9. We'll look at two more examples, with each example getting slightly harder. This time, let's say we have 3x to the power of 6, and we want to find the derivative of this. This one may seem tricky because it now has a coefficient in front of the x, but we follow the same process. So we move our indice out the front. So 6 comes out the front, so it becomes 6 times 3 times x. And then we have up the top our indices, so 6 minus 1. That's the same as 18, because 6 times 3 is 18, times x. And 6 minus 1 gives us 5. So our derivative is 18x to the power of 5. For this final example, let's find the derivative of just 4. Now this may be tricky because there's no x, but don't overthink it. We follow the same step. So 4 is the same as 4x to the power of 0, because if you remember, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So x to the power of 0 is the same as 1, and 4 times 1 is 4. And if we apply the power rule to this here, we have 0 times 4, which is 0, and then we have our x, and then we subtract 1 from our power. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1, and 0 times anything is 0. So our derivative of 4 is 0. This is another rule that you can learn. The derivative of a constant is always 0. And we can see this by using the power rule. So this one will be a really hard one. We want to find the derivative of this function here. 2x to the power of 3 plus 4x squared plus 9x plus 17. Our derivative, or f dash of x, is equal to, so we have 3 times 2, which gives us 6x, and then we subtract 1 from the power, so 6x to the power of 2, plus we have 4x squared. 2 times our 4 is 8x, and we subtract 1 from our indice, which is 2, so that just becomes 1. But we don't have to show the 1 because x to the power of 1 is the same as just x. Now we have 9x. Now that's the same as x to the power of 1. So we have 1 times 9, which is 9. Since we have x to the power of 1, when we subtract 1, we get x to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So we have 9 times 1, which is just 9. And finally we have plus 17. And if you remember from that last problem we did, when we're finding the derivative of any constant, it is 0. So we have plus 9 plus 0, which we don't need to include. That means our derivative of this function is 6x squared plus 8x plus 9. And that's how you find the derivative of a function. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing.